All right, so what we're going to do right now is we are going to go through number 14 together to make sure that you have that part figured out. So if you would please start by turning on your calculators. The assignment was just to make a scatter plot for number 12, 13, and 14. And then we're going to talk more today about what we can do with those scatter plots. So we want to make sure that everybody knows how to make a scatter plot before we try to use them, okay? And Ms. Fowler passed out to everyone the step-by-step directions with pictures and everything, okay? So this will help you follow along, or if you forget or something like that. All right, so let's do, because there's some question about number 14, so let's do number 14. So somebody raise your hand and tell me what I do first. How do I start my scatter plot? Maddie? Okay, so I'm going to hit stats, and I'm going to hit enter. And when you do that, you should get the lists show up. How do I clear out those lists, Megan?
Yep, button, and it goes to the L2,
Okay.
and then you can clear.
All right.
You do the same thing for L1.
Nothing happened. I hit
But
clear.
it's
And
always
it's
like up. You have to hit the up. There.
I did. It's up. And
Enter.
and hit enter.
Enter,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and
And
then
then
go
go
to
over
L1,
here,
same thing.
clear, and then enter. All right. Very good. Okay.
Or you can just go down.
Mr. Aldridge?
Yeah. Yes.
I think you can click like the up button, so can't you?
Yeah, you can just go
Like
up or down.
L1
and it'll-
clear.
Instead of
and then
enter.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can go up and then clear and then hit enter, or up and then clear and then scroll back down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either one has the same thing. Good. Okay. So a question came up for number 14, which is why I chose this one. How do we make a scatter plot with letters in there?
You don't have
The
to.
answer is that we don't, okay? We're ignoring the names of the restaurants, and we're going to go straight to the number of calories and enter those into L1, okay? So we don't care what the names of the restaurants are. We are only concerned with the numbers themselves. So enter all of these into L1. And many of the mistakes that I was catching yesterday when I was coming around and helping people had to do with mistyping the numbers, okay? Some people double typed the numbers. Some people skipped ahead to different numbers. So really make sure that the numbers that you are entering are the actual numbers that you're supposed to use. How do we know that these go in the L1? Okay, but they're both, the grams of fat is a numbers column too. How do we know which to put where?
Because the fat is like represents. I don't
Yeah,
know how to say it.
right, it's the dependent thingy, okay?
It changes based
Yeah.
on the.
Right, exactly. Okay, so now we're going to put grams of fat into the other one. 27 hour.
Hi, Scott. I have a question. When you're done.
Okay, let's go back to 10 an hour. What's your question?
Well,
Okay, so one quick check that you can do, like I said, a lot of the errors happen when you are entering data, is at this point right now, make sure that there's the same number of entries in both L1 and L2. If you have more in this one or you have more in this one, it's not going to work, okay? And so that's a quick little check that you can do to do that. All right, what do we do now? I want a scatter plot. Okay, so we're going to go to second, y equals, and that gives us our scatter plot menu. All right, you can see that all of mine are off, so I need to turn this one on. So I'm going to have that so that it is highlighted. I've got the scatter plot, I've got L1, I've got L2. This is the mark that I want to use. How do I see the graph? Graph?
Oh wait, it's Zoom 9.
I got nothing on my
Zoom
graph.
9.
What? Oh, Zoom 9. Yes, thank you. Zoom 9 sets your graph up so that it will exactly match all of the points that you need, okay? And then so there's your scatter plot. Now I want to show you two things that we weren't able to get to yesterday, and then we're going to talk about how we're actually going to use these functions. One thing is, if you want to see what the values of these different points are, you can hit the trace button. Okay, and you see there's a little dude doing jumping jacks on that point right there.
Yeah.
He's going. Yeah. Okay.
It's funny.
That says, thanks. That means that point has an x coordinate of 720 and a y coordinate of 46. And so I can scroll over here and look at another one. This point has an x coordinate of 530 and a y coordinate of 30. So I can scroll through these things and it tells me what the value of those points are. Okay. The other thing that I want to show you is, will you hit your y equals button right now? The new calculators have a thing where on the y equals screen itself, it says plot 1, plot 2, and plot 3. Plot 1 is highlighted. That means plot 1 is on. So there's actually a way you can turn on and off your stat plots without doing the second y equals thing. If I go up here to plot 1 right now and hit enter again, and then go down, see how none of them are highlighted now? So now my scatter plot has been turned off. Okay, so if I wanted to turn that back on, instead of doing the second y equals, I could just go up here, hit enter, turn that on, and then I'm good. Okay, now my scatter plot is back again. So that's just a different way that you can turn those on and off. The second y equals is nice because not only are you able to turn on and off your scatter plot, but you can control all this stuff as well. But once you have that set up, you can do what you need from y equals and figure it all out. Harley? No, so scoot in there with Megan and work with her. Okay? All right, so is everybody able to get that scatter plot, Megan?
When I do that, it's not on people.
Oh, you have that inequality. Does it say inequalities? So on page 94, there is a table that has Florida median home prices in there. And so let's do this one together. For these, you really need to be careful and read the directions. And we do this all the time in my math analysis class too, which you guys will have next year. And kids stumble on this a lot. It says, make a scatter plot, but it says let x equals 0 correspond to 1940. So I'm going to start like we normally did, stat, edit, clear this out. Stat, enter, okay? And then for the years, instead of typing in the entire year, they would like us to start with 1940 as 0. So I'm going to type in 0. And then 1950 would obviously be, if 1940 is 0, 1950 is 10, because it's 10 years after 1940. You guys are scaring me just a little bit, just a little. And then 20, so we're going up by 10s here, right? 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, so 30, 40, 50, and 60. Okay, so that gets us all the way to 2,000, and then the median prices. Get it so that it is highlighted, and then hit the clear button or the delete button. I'm not sure which one. Did you figure it out, Brandon? Do you have it highlighted yet?
I have it up to 7, I think it's 7. I'm highlighting and I'm pressing delete or something.
Okay, hold on a second.
So we're just making that.
So
What number are we on?
we are doing the example on page 94, problem 2, page 94. Okay, yes, yes. Okay, what did I do wrong?
1,000.
What, did you notice one of these points is very different than the other? Okay, so what do you think my problem is here, so you can start identifying these and fixing them on your own? So maybe switch, so something's wrong in my list, okay? So I'm going to go stat, 1 or enter again, you see the one that is the problem?
Yes, that's like.
Which one? This one right here. What is the one that goes with the year 1990? I accidentally put in there the median value for the house as being 985,000, and it should have been 98,500. Okay, so all I need to do is just type in what I want, 98,500, and then hit enter. Okay. Now though, when I look at my graph, since I changed that 1, to get it back to what I want, I need to go zoom 9 again. And there's the scatter plot that you guys should have. Okay? All right, so that's what we were doing yesterday. So hopefully everybody's able to do that step on their own. Thumbs up? Thumbs up. Okay, what we're going to do with this now is we're going to come up with the equation for the trend line that fits this data. And we did this 2 years ago in algebra. I don't know if you remember it or not, but the way we did it in algebra is we picked 2 points that best represented where that line was, and then we used them to come up with the equation for a line. This calculator gives us the ability to do it without going through all that work. And these are in your instructions, and it starts on page 2. No, page 3. Yeah. Okay, maybe can you see what he's got going on? Where it says 7, right here, linear regression. Okay, so if you can find that, that's what I'm going to do right now. So that's in your instructions. If you can. Okay, it's section 7. So you have to turn the page.
Wait. What does 7 look like in there?
VII.
Oh.
That's page 4.
Page 4, thank you. Oh yeah, there's a little page 4 right at the top. So on page 4, VII, which is Roman numeral for Super Bowl 7, it says linear regression. That's what we're going to do right now. Okay? So, you ready?
Yeah.
Megan? You don't have. So, here's how we come up with the equation for that line. It's very simple. Are you ready?
Yep.
Brandon, you ready? She's ready. Okay, hit the stop button again. Hit the stop button again. Lindsay Quinn, hit the stop button again.
Hit it down.
Okay. We're going to come up with the trend line now. Okay, you hit the stop button again. Okay. Okay, slide over with Anthony. Yes, now we're going to hit the over button. So Megan is following the directions. Okay, hold on a second. So let me teach a little bit. This lets us do all kinds of different equations that you will end up doing in this class and in future classes. Number 4 is if you think the data is linear. And if we look at this graph, we're going to go with linear. Okay. Number 5 would be quadratic. So if it looks like it's a parabola, you would use quadratic regression. Then you have cubic, quartic, and there are more down there. Okay. But we're going to go with linear, so hit the number 4, okay? And you should get this on your home screen. Not yet. Not yet. Okay? I mean, hit the number 4. So we went stat, calc, and then type 4. Or you can scroll down and hit enter. Yep, that'll work too. Either way, you should get this on your home screen, okay? Now we're going to get fancy, and this is going to be a little bit crazy, but you can handle it. I am going to come up with the equation, and at the same time, I am going to paste it into my y equals so that it will graph. I know, it's crazy, but you can do it. Are you ready? Okay. Hit the bars button, which stands for variables. We want the y bars. So scroll over to y bars. Number 1, if you get lost, it's okay. We'll pick you up later. Number 1 is function, so hit enter for that, or number 1, and you will see all the different y1, y2, y3, blah, blah, blah. It's displayed on there. We want y1, so hit enter, and it will paste the y1 at the end of the linear regression. Okay? So one more time for those of you that got lost. Greg? Right?
He's good.
Okay, we go vars for variables. We want y vars, function, y1, and it's at the end there. Okay, so now when you hit enter, some wonderful things happen.
Okay, I got this.
Okay, hit enter. It gives you the general form of the equation. We usually use m for slope, but the calculator uses a. The slope of our line is what? This number right here. We're probably not going to use the whole thing. We're going to round. The y-intercept is this thing right here, and we will talk about the r squared and the r later. You might not have that. That's all right. We're not going to use that right now. Okay? And the wonderful thing is, since we hit did that whole y1 thing, is if you hit graph right now, not only does it show the scatter plot, but it shows the trend line on the scatter plot. Okay?
So cool.
So cool. Yes.
It's
All right. Let's focus on the equation.
Well,
The equation we came up with was y equals what? What did a equal?
oh, I already pushed the button.
Okay, well, if you push the button already, then go, if you have your graph showed up and you want to go back to that, go back to second quit. Oops, mine is here. Stat, calc 4. Okay, so does somebody have this on their screen so I can go to the other one?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1411x and then plus 25114. Okay, so that is the equation that the calculator came up with based on the data for the median, is it median? Yeah, home prices in Florida over those years, okay? All right, what we want to do now is we want to use this equation to predict the median home price in the year 2020. Okay? So, if 1940 was 0, Megan, then 2020 is what? 80. Okay? So how can I use this equation to make a prediction for the year 2020? Plug 80 in for x, okay? Good. So since the years were my x's, if I want to make a prediction for 80 years from when I started, I'm going to plug in 80 for x. Okay, so 1411 times 80 plus 25114. If you figure that out, anybody have that? What do you get? What is it? Oh. What?
137 and
994. Okay. So our prediction would be about 138,000. So it's always good to sort of check the reasonableness of your predictions. If you look at the table that we, on page 94 of the values that we entered in, does it seem reasonable that in about 20 years from the last point, the price of a home would be 138,000? Yeah, because the last one they gave us was 105, okay? So if you had come up with this answer and you got like 60,000, then you should know that you did something wrong, because you would have the price of the home going down dramatically. Or if you got something like 5 million, then that's way too high. So always take your prediction and look at your data and see if that seems like it might fit, okay? Does that make sense?
yeah.
All right, so that's all we're doing today. So I'm going to go ahead and give you an assignment right now, give you a lot of time to work on it in class, because you're going to need us to come around and help you with all these technologies. Okay? Yes, we could split up and have, we want to do that, but we need to do the thing first. Okay, hold on just a second. This is what we're looking for tomorrow.
You know what?